How is everybody doing? I've been putting off making this video for a long time, Jesus. Alright, let's try that again. Hey everybody, my name is Ben Hagen. For those of you who don't know me, this is not going to be a particularly happy video. For those of you who don't know, I'm 19. I grew up in Issaquah, Washington. I still live near Issaquah, Washington. Went to Skyline High School, Issaquah High School, and while I was at Issaquah High School, I decided to begin a suicide awareness organization. And I was a junior at the time, so that was about 2 years ago, and I named it BCH Suicide Awareness. And I started it with my friend Connor and my current girlfriend Emily, and it was a very big thing at the time in my life. What really annoys me about myself is that I have let it kind of dwindle, I've let it die, and I'm really disappointed in that because I was getting a lot of support. There were a lot of people that were like waiting for the public speaking events that I was doing in partnership with Friends of Youth. I really have put off making videos that I've promised the followers of the page and everything on our Facebook page and our Instagram account, and I've had enough of myself being lazy and not doing anything about it. So here I am. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to give a little background on why I started BCH Suicide Awareness, what it is, what we plan for it to be, because Connor and Emily are still involved. I have had a lot of experience with suicide and the fallout of suicide, like what happens after someone you love commits suicide and takes their own life. I've had it happen twice to me. Once when I was 2 years old, my birth mother, she took her own life, and that I don't really remember. I just remember growing up with a lot of questions, and it created a very tough situation for my family because they didn't know what to do. My birth father was kind of a deadbeat and wasn't suited to raise a child. So my biological grandma on my mom's side decided to adopt me. But before she could adopt me, legally, she had to tell me that I was adopted. Growing up with like that knowledge, I'm glad I learned early. I'm really glad I learned early. But growing up with that knowledge, it was really weird because I always ask all these questions, and you know, the answers I get aren't really the ones I'm looking for. Like, I want to know what she was like. I want to know all that, and that was kind of taken from me. But granted, I've had a good life. The situation could have been a lot worse, and I'm not going to complain about it. I've done enough of that, and I'm happy with the way things turned out, I guess, because who knows where I would have ended up if things hadn't turned out the way they did. Let's fast forward a bit. So when I was 13, so this was 11 years after my biological mother committed suicide, my adoptive mother, aka my biological grandma, she took her own life. And that was due to the fact that she had still not yet fully coped with her daughter's passing. And this was 11 years later, mind you. It never went away. Like, that pain and the grief never went away. And the craziest part is I never noticed. And to be fair, I was 13. Like, even when she had attempted, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, Mom's sick. Like, and it's just crazy how things switched as soon as it happened. And I understood everything. Like, it all made sense. And there were other factors too. Like, my parents got divorced. My mom had a pill addiction. We were low on money, so there was a lot of depression, and we were homeless, which a lot of people don't know. Yes, I was homeless when I was 13. I stayed with my dad. Luckily I had my dad, but my mom and my sister and my nephew, they were homeless, and it was a really rough time for the Hagen family, to say the least. What came of it is that I now know what it is like to lose someone to suicide, and I know what it does to people. I know what it did to me. Like, I feel it. I still do. It has been 6 years since my mom passed away, and I still think about it every day. Like, I can remember my dad telling me that my mom had been found and just bawling my eyes out. I remember every second of that like it was yesterday, and I'll never forget it. And for a long time I was just in shock. Like, I wasn't, like, I didn't accept it really. Like, I knew that it was real, but I didn't fully accept that it was real. And then, like, 4 years after, so about 2 years ago, was like my lowest point. Like, I couldn't deal with it. It was, you know, I was 17, I think I had just gone through a breakup, and, you know, it's high school, high schoolers go through breakups, but like, my mindset was like, every woman in my life leaves me, which sounds dramatic, but that's literally where I was at. I was having that bad of a time trying to cope with what happened to my mom. And normally, you know, I'd be able to ask my mom, like, hey, what do I do? I just got dumped. What do I do? But I couldn't. And that was really hard part for me about it. You know, growing up without a mom, like in my most important years, that was really difficult too. And let me clarify something really quick. I'm not trying to make this a pity video. I'm just plainly trying to show you the effects of what suicide does to loved ones, and trying to just give you a first-hand look and give you my experience, because I haven't really fully explained to anyone yet on social media, other than the people who are close to me. It was just really difficult at the time, and I still, like, I almost bottle it up now, to the point where, like, I have like one breakdown every 3 months, but I'm able to deal with it now because I accept it. I accept that it happened, and I also accept that it made me a better person, and that it made me able to talk to people about it, that it made me capable of feeling other people's sorrow and grief, and it made me want to help people, because I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through. Honestly, guys, I know you know this, but suicide is to have to deal with it, like, because you don't see it coming, really. Like, a lot of people, they hide their emotions and their depression so well, and it shows up in different ways, so there's never really truly a way to know. Like, I've had friends that are depressed and I didn't even know, and they're like friends I've known since I was 7, 8 years old, and I thought I knew, but I didn't know until they told me. That's why I feel like it's so important for me to get this out there, because I want people to know that you can talk to me. You can talk to your loved ones, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to counselors. Anyone that you trust, you can talk to. My TV just turned on. Hold on. Okay, got that taken care of. I just want everybody to know that it's okay to talk about it. Like, you don't have to be ashamed that you're depressed or that you have suicidal thoughts. It is a very common thing. And I think that's what I had a really hard time dealing with at the beginning. Like, I didn't want anyone to know. But now I want people to know, because it's such an important part of my life to where people should know. Like, that's literally the first thing, like one of the first things I tell people. And also, I have a tattoo from my mom up here, both of them, my birth mom and my adoptive mom. And like, I showcase that a lot because it's an important part of me. Like, I got that tattoo specifically for that purpose, for people to know that I did go through this and I'm still standing right here. One big thing I've even had family members tell me that they're worried about is that I'm gonna be like that, like that's gonna happen to me. But the biggest thing is that knowing what it feels like having that happen to you as a loved one of someone who commits that act, I don't want anybody in my family or in my friend group or anything to have to deal with that again. Like, I don't want them to deal with it, because it, like I said earlier, it doesn't go away. It didn't go away over the 11-year span that my mom dealt with her daughter's death. Like, it did not go away. And it wouldn't go away for a long time if I did it, or if my friend did it, if somebody else in my family did it. It would honestly probably break me if somebody else in my family did it, and they know that, and that's why it's very important for myself and my family to talk about it openly with each other and let each other know if we're having a hard time. The thing is, people don't talk about it. Like, this is something, like, yeah, you see, you know, things about, like, you know, depression and, you know, Mental Health Awareness Month, which is a great thing. I love Mental Health Awareness Month because people should know about the different types of mental health issues and what people do go through on a day-to-day basis. And it's scary how many people go through this kind of stuff, but they go a very long time without talking about it, and then it gets to them and they can't handle it anymore. And that's sad, and it worries me, because I know that there are people in my community especially that deal with it all the time, and I want to help. And it's hard when you see someone going through that and you can't do anything, or you don't do anything. And there's a difference. Like, I can do something, but my negligence of this page has gotten to the point where I haven't done anything, and that pisses me off that I'm doing that. And now, like I said, I'm sick of myself doing that. I'm sick of myself being lazy. I think what I'm trying to say is everybody should feel a sense of responsibility to try to learn more about this, to try to understand the, you know, the circumstances surrounding depression and suicidal tendencies and suicidal thought. It's something so important that isn't covered that much, because, you know, you see a teen that commits suicide and it's like somebody should have helped, somebody should have known, and, you know, oftentimes that kid didn't tell anybody, and that's sad. It's sad to think that they took themselves out of this world thinking that they were alone and that nobody wanted them, because that's exactly what my mom did, and that wasn't the truth at all. Like, I was there, my sister was there, my dad was there, my grandpa, like, everybody was there, but she didn't believe that. And there's kids constantly that you see on Twitter, Instagram, the news, where they take their own lives, and, you know, more likely than not, they thought they were alone too. You're not alone. You're never alone. I don't obviously know all of you who are watching. Like, I don't know all the circumstances around what you're going through if you are going through something, but I can guarantee you, whatever situation you're in, whatever you may be going through, you are not alone, and you will never be alone. Even if you don't trust family or other friends or another trusted adult or advisor, something like that, you're looking at somebody who you can trust. I leave my social media in every description of every video that I make. You can contact me, you can DM me, and I know it's hard to reach out to somebody. I didn't even want to go to a counselor that my dad scheduled for me. Like, I think I went through 5 different counselors over the past 6 years, and I only trusted one of them. I know how hard it is to open up, but once you do and the floodgates open, it is so much easier. And I'm not telling you, yes, talk to me. Like, I'm not gonna force that on any of you. But if you send a message to me, I'm going to answer. Like, 100% I will answer. And I may not have all the solutions, I may not have all the answers, but I will do my best to make sure that whoever reaches out to me knows that you're not alone, and knows that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there is something to live for, because I'm tired of seeing people my age and seeing people younger than me taking themselves away from their families, and it's heartbreaking. It's truly heartbreaking to think that these parents and the rest of the families have to bury their child. Like, no parent should ever have to do that, ever, no matter what the circumstance. So if you have the chance to fight back and to beat what you're going through, do it, or at least make an attempt. Don't just give up, because I know that taking your life is the easy way out, quote unquote. But the end of your suffering is just the beginning of someone else's. And I cannot stress that enough. Now, I know I said this was a sad video. This wasn't going to be a happy video. But one thing I will say is there are positive things that are coming for the BCH, Suicide Awareness Organization. Number one, Connor is going to be joining me soon on one of these videos, and multiple others, and the only reason he's not here right now is because he's a very busy person. He has his own things going on, but he is very important to this organization. He's a very important friend of mine. He's been through everything with me, so it'd be very nice to have him back. We're going to be starting to do more stuff on our Facebook page and our Instagram page. I actually just lost the password to the Instagram account, so I need to recover that, because if I can't get that kind of sucks. I'm trying to get more people to sit in front of this camera with me and talk about their experiences with different types of mental health. It doesn't have to just be suicide or depression. There's such a wide spectrum when it comes to mental disorders, and it's very important to have information on all of them and be able to understand all of them. And that's why I want to bring different people who've experienced different things in front of this camera, because that's a very important thing to do, because, like I just said, there's such a wide spectrum of different mental health disorders. It needs to all be covered. Long story short, you're not alone. I know the easy way out is taking your life, but sometimes doing what's easy isn't what's right. That's why I'm right here. Like, if I wanted to do what was easy, I wouldn't be talking to this camera right now. I wouldn't be sitting in front of this camera sharing very private things about my life, but I am, because it's the right thing to do. It's important that somebody does this, and I know there's other people that do this. I want to be one of those people. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your family, there is always going to be counselors. There's other adults, whether you play sports and it's a coach, whether you have friends, parents that you trust a lot. There's always people to talk to, and a strong support group is the beginning of the road to recovery. That's what helped me through it. Just stay tuned. There should be some exciting things coming soon. It's hard to say exciting when you're running a suicide awareness organization, because it's kind of a soft subject, but I'm really happy to finally be sitting in front of this camera and talking to you guys again. I know that it has been probably a year since I've done anything with the page, so this will be uploaded onto BCH Suicide Awareness on Facebook. It is also going to be uploaded on my YouTube channel, which is just Ben Hagen. I'll leave a link in the description. It'll also be linked in my Instagram bio. So even though you're already here, if you want to go subscribe to YouTube channel, if you're on Facebook right now, that would be great, because I'll also be putting other videos on there, not just suicide awareness videos, but other just info videos, stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to listen. If you made it to the end of this, I thank you very much, because I know this. I'm literally sitting on my bed in my room with a baseball bat behind me and glasses of water and bottles of water behind me, pouring my heart out. So Not the most fun video to watch, I know, but I needed to do it, and I'm glad that you watched it if you made it all the way to the end of the video. So thank you very much again. Stay tuned, and yeah, alright, peace.